What would happen if today you were arrested, blindfolded, and stripped of your name, replaced with a number? Would you still be yourself, or would you become someone else entirely? In 1971, a professor at Stanford University set out to answer that question. What was meant to last 14 days collapsed into chaos in just 6. We are about to step into the basement of the psychology department. What happened there forces us to confront how fragile human nature really is. It began with Philip Zimbardo. He wanted to understand why prisons become so violent. Was it the kind of people inside them, or the system itself? He selected 24 college students. All were psychologically stable, intelligent, and had no criminal record. They were randomly assigned roles, some would be guards, others prisoners. To make it realistic, he involved the Palo Alto police. The prisoners were arrested at their homes, fingerprinted, searched, and stripped. They were given smocks, a number instead of a name, and a chain around one ankle. The guards received military-style uniforms and mirrored sunglasses to hide their eyes. There was only one rule: no physical violence. But they were expected to create a constant sense of fear and total control. The breakdown was immediate. On the second day, the prisoners rebelled. They barricaded their doors and tore off their numbers. The guards retaliated with fire extinguishers and introduced psychological punishment. They created a privilege cell to divide the group and foster distrust. Prisoners were forced to do push-ups, clean toilets with their bare hands, and sleep on the cold concrete floor. One guard, nicknamed John Wayne because of his exaggerated authoritarian style, began imitating a stereotypical movie prison guard accent. He had no violent past. He was an anthropology student. The role consumed him. Even Zimbardo stopped acting like a researcher and began behaving like a real prison superintendent. What makes this even more disturbing is that literature had imagined something similar years earlier. In 1954, William Golding published Lord of the Flies. In the novel, a group of schoolboys is stranded on a deserted island after a plane crash. At first, they attempt order and rational leadership. But fear and the struggle for power unravel their fragile society. Civilized children turn into aggressors. The parallel is striking. There were no criminals in Stanford. There were no monsters on the island. In both cases, ordinary individuals descended into brutality once structure, accountability, and moral boundaries weakened. Golding's fiction suggested that savagery does not require evil people, only the right conditions. The Stanford experiment appeared to demonstrate something disturbingly similar in real life. The study was terminated on the 6th day. It ended after Christina Maslach, a graduate student, entered the basement and was horrified by what she saw. She was the only person who openly challenged the morality of the situation at the time. Years later, serious criticisms emerged. Recordings suggested that some guards were encouraged to act more harshly. Several prisoners admitted they exaggerated emotional breakdowns to be released early. The debate continues. Was this a genuine revelation about human nature, or a staged environment shaped by expectation and pressure? Despite the controversy, the impact was lasting. The experiment reshaped ethical standards in psychological research. Zimbardo later called this dynamic the Lucifer effect, the idea that under certain structural conditions, ordinary people can commit extreme acts when authority is legitimized and others are dehumanized. The final question remains. If you had been there, would you have resisted the power or surrendered to it?